Hello and welcome back. Let's explore the word Sharia in the Quran. We're going to look at the 3 verses where the root of Sharia appears and the context surrounding it. And then the one place where Sharia appears with the meaning we are used to, which reveals what the original word actually meant. We are so used to the meaning of the word because its usage that we ignore the verses completely, but not today. Let's go. The root for Sharia appears in 3 places in the Quran, translated by Saint Murad as legitimize, and some translators render it as ordain. Surah 42 verse 13 talks about something ordained to the people, and then mentions Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. In itself, we don't have a clear picture of what this is talking about. The next verse, however, gives us a very important clue though. Verse 14 says, "They did not separate until after knowledge came to them." That piece of information will help us understand what the verse is talking about. Note that these verses do not mention Islam, Muslims, Quran, or Muhammad. There is nothing Islamic in them. The next appearance is in Surah 42 verse 21. It is used in a similar manner and we don't get much information from it. But notice how there is no mention of anything Islamic in the verse either. Let's look at the third verse in this category, and then we'll tackle the last one, which reveals the true meaning of the word. And if you enjoy learning what the Quran really meant when it was first written down, remember to subscribe to the channel to be notified when we reveal more stuff. We have lots of exclusive, mind-blowing reveals coming up, so stay tuned for those. Back to the argument. Surah 5 verse 48. Let's take a bit of time with this one. Sahih International says, "We have revealed to you," and then very helpfully they add, "O Muhammad," so that we know what this verse is talking about, but Muhammad is not in the Arabic. Hilali Khan says, "We have sent down to you," and then they add Muhammad and Quran so that you know what it's talking about, yet those words are not there. Yusuf Ali seems to be the most trustworthy translator in this instance. He writes, "We sent the scripture," past tense. It is in fact a verbal sentence, and the tense is past tense. According to traditions, the Quran was revealed over a 22-year period. Therefore, when we have this verse talking in the past tense, saying that the book was sent, it could not be the Quran at all, as it was in the process of being revealed. Therefore, this verse, once again, does not talk about anything Islamic, not in the Arabic at least, and the translations are misleading, as that book which was sent down in the past tense would be either the Torah or the Injil. Spoiler alert, is the Torah. Let's go with the final verse where Sharia appears as the divine law of Islam, Surah 48 verses 16 to 18. We're going to use Sahih International for show. Verse 16 says that the children of Israel were given scripture, judgment, and prophethood. So that's the Jewish people, and this verse establishes the topic being discussed. Verse 17 then says that they did not differ, except after knowledge had come to them. Now, if we were talking about the Jewish people, with their scripture, judgment, and prophethood, and they did not differ until knowledge came to them, it is obvious that the knowledge spoken of is the coming of Jesus. If this verse were in a different writing, it would carry a different meaning. However, the Quran talks about Jesus as the Messiah. Therefore, that's the reason the authors of the Quran would say the Jewish people differed about something new, a form of knowledge, and it is spelled out to be scripture, judgment, and prophethood. Remember how we saw a similar phrasing earlier? In Surah 42 verse 14, we saw that it says, "They did not separate until after knowledge came to them." It is all the same. We now know what that knowledge means. Therefore, Surah 45 verse 16 talks about the Jewish people, and verse 17 refers to the coming of Jesus. Sharia appears in the very next verse. Surah 45 verse 18 says, "Then we put you on an ordained way." Sahih International helpfully says that is addressed to Muhammad, but that's not what the Arabic says. By inserting Muhammad, the addressee of the verse changes from the audience to addressing the prophet, which is very naughty. So, if these verses are talking about the Jewish people differing after knowledge came to them, the ordained way must be the knowledge the authors spoke of, Jesus. That was the belief when the book was first put together, hence why Muslims still believe to this day that Jesus returns on the day of judgment, he fights the Antichrist, and he will impose Sharia, the ordained way. Except that the Sharia written in the Quran was Christianity, and not the Caliphate law created much later. We hope you've enjoyed this explanation. If so, give us a like and leave us a comment below. See you soon.